Hey everyone, welcome back to our SwiftUI series. Today we're diving into dark mode support. We'll start by learning how to use the assets catalog for adaptive colors. Then as a bonus, I'll show you how to programmatically adapt colors using @environment color scheme. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to add this to a new Xcode project. But if you want to add this to an existing build, feel free to do so. So I'm going to create a new project, iOS app as always. I'm just going to call this Darkmode example. Make sure I'm on SwiftUI. I was doing another project on Storyboard there, but make sure you're on SwiftUI for this SwiftUI project. And we'll go ahead and set up our project. All right, before we actually hop into the code, I actually want to just go to my assets catalog, and we're going to define some colors as well as add an image for our profile card example. So I'm going to use this really cute picture of monkey cat Luna, this little kitty in glasses. So I'm just going to import that. I'm just going to drag and drop it. You can also press this button down here, import or use image set, and we're actually going to create a couple different colors. So the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to call it background color. So I'm going to right click, or you can press this plus button, new color set. We can give it a name, and I'm going to call it background color. Cool. So we're going to select this background color here, and under our attributes inspector on the right side of the screen, it might be hidden under this little panel here, so just make sure that's open. Under appearances, you can select any light or dark, and you can actually now customize what it's going to look like for light and what it's going to look like for dark. All right, let's go ahead and add a light color. So we can choose from these pre-made colors, or we can totally make our own. So I'm going to go for this lighter blue, I think. That's what I kind of want. And then if we want to choose what it looks like when the phone is in dark mode, let's go ahead and make it maybe this darker kind of purpley blue color. Let's also create another color set, and for this one we're going to use text color. So I'm going to go text color, and we're going to do the exact same thing, appearances light dark. For light mode we'll use black, so let's go here, make it dark, and for dark mode we're going to use white, so we can leave it as is. So let's go ahead and now go to our content view here, and we're going to go ahead and build a really basic profile page that's going to use these colors, and we'll add our profile image, some text, and apply our adaptive colors. Alrighty, let's go ahead and we can get rid of this pre-made content within here. We can leave our V stack, of course, but we're actually going to wrap all of this in a Z or Z stack in order to kind of have that background color. So I'm just going to go to the end of our V stack here and create a brace, so we can see that we've wrapped our V stack appropriately. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the background color that will adapt. So let's go ahead and do that now. We'll say color. We're going to reference our background color. So background color. And we can see that it already has added that light teal. We're also going to make it ignore all the safe area, so it kind of expands throughout the entire phone. That's a good idea for a background. So say edges, ignoring safe area. And we're going to set this to be all. All right, and now in our V stack, we're going to go ahead and add some spacing. So I'm going to go spacing, and I'm going to set this to be 20. If we want to change it later, we totally can. Alrighty, let's go ahead and add an image, and I'm going to use my profile image here. So I'm going to reference that profile image. That's the one that we added earlier. It's way too big. As much as I love you, monkey cat Luna, we do need to shrink you down some. Let's go ahead and make you resizable, which is going to allow us to resize that image. You can already see that it's doing its best to fit it within the phone screen. Let's also do scale to fit. So this is going to fit it to the parent view, which is the phone. It's going to shrink it down even more. But let's go ahead and actually add a frame to get it a little bit smaller as well. Let's go ahead and set a width and a height. So for the width, let's try 150. And for the height, because it is a square, we shouldn't have to add the height, but always good practice to do so. It will make that aspect ratio a little bit better. And let's also go ahead and clip this shape. And we're going to set that to be a circle because we're going to want to fit it into a circular form. So I'm going to have this be circle. Amazing. We can also add a shadow. So I'm going to do that as well, just to make it a little bit cooler. We're going to have that be a radius. We can set this to be 10. So we can add that glow effect around our profile image. All right, cool. Let's add some text with adaptive color. We can have a comment here with adaptive color. Let's add some text. And we'll say, welcome Swift learner. Add a font here. And we can set this to be maybe title. Add a font weight, and we can make that be bold. And let's add our adaptive text color as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to do dot foreground style. We're going to say color, and then in brackets reference our text color. Now, because our text color is also black, which is usually default for light mode, we won't really notice a change right now. For this basic example, this is all we're really going to add for now, just to kind of show you how it swaps back and forth. So I'm going to go down here on my content view, and we can click on this, and it says Canvas Device Settings. So we can actually change the color scheme as well as the orientation here. So if I activate this, we can actually use this to swap between light and dark appearance. So I'm going to click on dark appearance, and we can see that our background color and our text color does change. If we were to go back here for our text color, let's go ahead and make this more of perhaps like a red color. And then on dark mode, let's make it more of a yellow color, just for example. And we go back to our content view. We can see based on the color that's been selected, it will dynamically update to be those different colors. Oh, sorry. So one change we have to make is, even though we have this ignore safe area, because we actually left the padding in from the example, it's actually leaving padding from the safe area on the Z stack. So you'll notice now that we delete it, it actually takes up the whole phone screen. So my apologies there. We need to get rid of that padding after we had added those braces, and now it takes over the full screen. And let's go ahead and see what this app looks like in the simulator. So we can see that we have our phone screen here. The colors are adaptive. If you want to change light and dark mode on your phone, there's a couple different ways to do so. The first way that I usually do it is I'll press the home button up here at the top, looks like a little house, and I will go to the settings. From there, I'll go to developer at the very bottom, and I'll enable or disable dark appearance. So let's go ahead and go back to our app here. You can see that it has updated. You can also press the home button, swipe down, and you can see under my recent searches, but you can here search for dark mode. You can see that we can enable and disable it here as well. So I'm going to leave it on dark mode. We can kind of see our app in all its glory now. And if you are testing on Mac, you can also change that within your Mac system settings and change the theme there. So on my Mac system settings, under appearance, we can set it to be light, dark, and auto as well. I'm just going to leave them on light. All right, so that's how you can do it the easy way, by having the different colors in the asset catalog. Now let's talk about how you can do it a little bit more programmatically. We're going to use the @environment color scheme in order to detect the current mode. So what I'm going to do is we're going to make a few changes in our code. So under our structure of content view, I'm just going to make some space here, and I'm going to create @environment. I'm going to add a bracket here. I'm going to do /dot color scheme. So this is going to access the color scheme of the environment. And we're also going to create a variable here. So I'm going to call it color scheme. Okay, let's go ahead and make a variable for our background color here. So background color. And we're going to set this to be color. And we're going to add a brace here. We're going to say color scheme equals dot light, And then we're going to use our ternary operator to say, okay, if it's light, I want to have a certain color, and if it's not, I want it to be another color. So let's actually go ahead and have this be color.white, and then our else statement here. So if it's not on light mode, it'll be color.gray. Wonderful. Let's do the exact same thing for our text color here. So we're going to say var text color. And I'm going to go ahead and say that this is going to be a color value. Add our brace here. And we'll do the exact same thing. We'll say colorScheme equals light. Add our ternary operator. We can have color.black for when it's in light mode. We'll use that colon for an else statement. So if it's in dark mode, white. All right, in our code, let's go ahead and update this so it represents the color changes appropriately programmatically. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to our Z stack here, and where it says color background color, we're actually just going to remove this and reference our background color. Perfect. Let's go ahead and also apply these changes to our text as well. So where we have our color for text color, we can just reference that variable and we'll say text color. All right, and let's check it in both light and dark appearance. So we should have that gray background and that white text, and we absolutely do. So if you want to set up these colors programmatically using the environment color scheme, you can. I personally find it's easier to do the assets catalog just because we can reference the color, and depending on the state that the phone's in, you'll have one color or the other. But if you want to do it programmatically, you'll use that environment /.colorScheme, and you can change the colors that way as well. Another great tool that you can actually access when you're checking the color schemes is this little row of boxes down here on the content view preview, and it says variants. If you go ahead and click on this, you can select color scheme variants, orientation variants, and dynamic type variants. If we actually select the color scheme variants, we can actually see both the light mode and dark mode in real time. You can even click on it to kind of focus it, but this will allow you to kind of see both of the changes and even scroll through them as well. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I thought it was pretty cool. So with this approach, we programmatically determine the colors based on the color scheme. You can mix in additional logic to customize the appearance even further. And that's it for today's lesson on dark mode. We learned how to use the assets catalog to define adaptive colors and showed how to programmatically adjust the colors using @environment color scheme. Both approaches are super handy depending on your needs. So if you actually want some suggestions, or if you're not sure what kind of colors to add to your app, I'm going to show you a cool website that you can utilize. So this is colors.co. I'll put a link to it in the description, of course. And we actually have this generator here that gives us a random assortment of colors. You can choose as many colors as you'd like. And if you hit the spacebar, it'll actually just kind of shift through all the different colors. If you find one you really like, let's say we like this English violet and this sky magenta, you can actually like lock those in place. It gives you even the colors, the hex code, and you can kind of play around with that. So if you are looking for some inspirations for colors for your application, I highly recommend this website. It's free to use. You can even export as a PDF or image. So you can call this my new app. Choose if you want, hex, RGB, and you can kind of get this little palette that you can use. So just a quick suggestion there. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, dream big and code bigger, and take care, everyone.